Okay, awesome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this new space. I'm so excited to dive in together. I'm going to go ahead and pin myself just to make sure you all can see. And if you have, you don't have to, but if you have a bolster or a pillow or blankets or a bag, anything to prop yourself up on, then go ahead and grab it. If not, no worries. But let's go ahead. Start with seated. And the idea is when you're propping yourself up, it just helps to open up the pelvis and the pelvic floor. So if our knees are above those pelvic bones, it actually tightens the pelvis. But if we can bring as many blankets as we need and get those knees below, especially when we're in this one, it opens everything up. So let's just start with simple cross-legged. Do the opposite of bring the opposite leg forward of what you're used to. So we can work with the pelvis in a different way. And then we just want to start stacking the bones, stacking the spine. So go ahead and move any skin, tissue, muscle out of the way. You can literally go inside your pants to move that skin and tissue just so that we can start stacking. And then your inner groin, there's a steel cable here, an inner groin, let it roll towards the floor so you can start to sculpt your muscles like clay, your skin, your tissue, rolling that down towards the floor. Good. And take a nice deep inhalation, getting a little bit taller. And start to open up the back of the neck, the back of the brain, and extend and release through the top center of your head, reaching up towards the ceiling. Again, you're growing like a flower, growing towards the sun, heart lifting. And even though you're getting taller, everything starts to come towards the center when you expand taller and soften the throat. Good. And go ahead and roll those top shoulders down the back. So the top of your shoulders are rolling down the back. And then this armpit chest right here is lifting up towards the ceiling. So the armpit chest is lifting, the top shoulders are rolling, and those palms can be facing up. So spread those fingers, spread the pinky fingers. Roll those top shoulders down and back towards the floor. Roll your glute muscles towards the floor. And that's going to give you more spaciousness in your lower back. And that's also going to start to tone these hips. Glutes rolling towards the floor, shoulders rolling down the back towards the floor. And then your center heart, center sternum is lifting upwards and forwards at a 60-degree angle. And it's as though it's pushing from inside the body outwards. Good, beautiful. So that's that coming home to our posture, that true self that we often protect and hide. We're lifting, we're opening. And then inhale those arms up, palms facing each other. Good. And see if you can make contact with your two sit bones on the ground, on the floor, on the pillow, on the surface. So you're reaching through that right sit bone and you're reaching through the left sit bone. Reaching through the floor, grounding more. Good. Inhale, just making more space in your sideways, more space in your spine. And imagine that these two front ribs are drawing towards each other and towards the back of the room. Good. Inhale, nice and tall, nice and long. And you're also opening the back of your spine. So keep in the same position, but you're opening along this kidney band, this adrenal band. So your front ribs are reaching towards the back of the room. Your front ribs are reaching towards each other like shoelaces if you're tying a shoe. And then you're opening up that back rib cage, that kidney band. And see if you can really breathe into that space. Smooth breath. Keep expanding wide across that kidney band. That's an area that just gets so neglected unintentionally. You want to fill that space up with air, breath, life force. And inhale to the top of your breath and pause. Hold that breath for a second. Exhale, release. And as you exhale, feel your spine getting longer and taller. Open up the back of the neck. Keep reaching from the center, top of the head, up towards the ceiling. And you're just getting more and more space in the spine, even by a millimeter or micrometer. Making space in the joints. And the throat softens and the center brow softens. The face, the cheeks, the jaw, relax, release, and soften. And I know we're holding this for a long time. I want to warm up those shoulders. So if you're feeling any discomfort, any aching, grueling, just smooth out the breath. Breathe through any discomfort. Inhale to the top of your breath and pause. Exhale. Feel that spine get longer. Again, opening up in that back kidney band. Inhale again through your nose. Fill that back kidney band. Good. And exhale, arms down, releasing. Beautiful. Just coming to that seated position. And just notice if your heart feels a little bit more elevated, broaden wide across the top of the chest. So these two collarbones are reaching from the center towards the outside edges of the room. And again, palms are facing up. Beautiful. Doesn't it feel good just to work on opening that heart, opening up that posture? And the idea is that we put enough hours into this foundation, into these basics, that we just start to live that way. It becomes our default mode because you put that work in. Good. And as the heart opens more, the chest opens. And again, we're lifting from this armpit chest. See if you can, there's a triangular bone at the base of the spine, the sacrum. You can feel it sturdy. Imagine that the skin right at that sacrum is lifting, reaching up towards the back of the head. So the sacrum skin is lifting up towards the ceiling, and the spine is lengthening and strengthening from there. And again, those top shoulders are rolling down the back body, releasing, rolling down and back as that neck lengthens. Good. So we really want to work on these neck and shoulders. So take that right arm and put it on top of that left arm. And if you can crisscross at the wrists, go for it. If you can't, don't worry about it. We're just working on opening up these shoulders. So right arm on top. You can also change the crossings of your legs. So we're getting both sides. And this is really good if you're working on the computer, have any stress. So reach those elbows away from your face towards the front of the room. Again, inhale deeply, especially behind the heart, behind the scapulas. And see if you can broaden wide between those two shoulder blades. And use your breath to help you get in there, make more spaciousness, open up that thoracic spine behind the shoulder blades. And again, keep reaching those elbows towards the front of the room. You can extend those fingertips straight up towards the ceiling. And soften the face, soften the jaw, soften the brow. And see if you can keep reaching that spine longer by reaching out the top center of your head towards the ceiling. And again, if you're experiencing any aching or grueling, not sharp pain, we never want sharp pain, but any discomfort, just go ahead and soften the breath, smooth the breath, breathing through it. We want to work to the other side of that discomfort. And then exhale, arms down. Inhale, we're going to switch. So now that left elbow is going above the right elbow. And then you can crisscross the arms, reach those elbows to the front of the room. And again, soften the jaw, soften the face, soften the brow. And roll those shoulders down and back. And in this position too, your front ribs are reaching towards each other and reaching towards the back of the room. Again, we want to nourish that kidney and adrenal band, open that up, broaden wide across that lower back rib cage. So we're working with those equal opposing actions. The elbows are reaching forwards. The back of the ribs are reaching to the back of the room. And extend out the top center of your head to bring it through your full body. Reaching those two sit bones towards the floor. And it's just add on, right? We're just seeing how many points we can connect with, whether it's 1 point, 3 points, 10 points. Just integrating those different points as you can. And exhale, arms down. Good. So just notice, feel any difference in the back of the neck, the shoulders, getting more length in the spine. We can get so much more energy and connection to life through that length of the spine. So if you're ever sitting in a conference or something and you're having trouble concentrating, lengthen that spine, get taller, and that concentration and that focus and that energy will increase dramatically. Keep going, get taller. And then again, spread wide across the chest. You're opening this front sternum wide, spreading those collarbones wide, lifting that armpit chest up to the ceiling with that zest and that zeal, meaning you're putting a lot of effort into it. You're really working on getting that armpit chest open. Inhale, top of your breath, hold, roll those shoulders down and back. Exhale, keep that height, keep that length, keep that width. And exhale your air. And again, inhale, hold, exhale through your nose. Inhale through your nose. Hold your breath. And exhale. Good work, good work, good work, good work. Okay, so we are going to dive more into the foundations today. Get those solid. So just get on a non-slippery surface if you have, whether that's a wood floor with bare feet, whether that's you've got your tennis shoes on, whether you have a mat. We just want to make sure that we have that grip so that we can get the most out of this. All right. Well, hi, Forrest. Hi, honey. So good to see you. Thanks for joining us for practice. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna do wide legs. So see if you can get your legs as wide as possible. Forrest, you can do this with us, buddy. And you can kick those heels out so you're a little bit pigeon-toed. And you want to get that weight in the outside edges of your feet. So lift the inner arches up towards the ceiling. Forrest, this one really helps with ninja moves. Helps with coordination and balance too, guys. So we want to get that weight on the outside edges of our feet. Lift those inner arches up. Keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. And then we want to draw the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. The front of the knee to the back of the knee. And so there's a lot of different coordination happening here. Lifting those inner arches, pressing in the outside edges of the feet. And now the inner knee is going to reach towards the outer knee. Inner knee reaching towards the outer knee. And you're pretending that you're spreading the floorboards wide. Hi, Mariama. Good work. I love seeing families do this together. That's so fun. Good. Yeah, we can take our arms wide, our feet wide. Ideally, our feet would be as wide as our wrists. So I could get wider, but work your way up to it. And again, spread those collarbones wide. Roll those shoulders down the back. Roll your glutes down towards your heels. Your inner knee is reaching towards your outer knee. And you're pressing on the outside edges of your feet. And again, the front of the thigh is reaching to the back of the thigh. Keep going. Good. Keep going, keep going, keep going. It's as though you're trying to bust through that femur bone. So really apply some pressure from the center femur moving backwards. And then you find that equal balance in the right foot and the left foot, inner arches lifting. Whoa, Layla says. Hands on your hips. And then exhale, reach forward. So the heart is actually opening. Keep going, I'll show you from the side. Yeah, nice, you guys. The heart is actually opening, and you are trying to get a little bit of a back bend in the upper spine. So press in those outside edges of your feet. Sit bones are spreading wide. And the heart is lifting even more. Keep lifting. Hi, Mariama. Keep lifting, lifting, lifting. Good. And then that center sternum is lifting upwards and forwards. Keep rolling those shoulders down the back. Front of the thigh is reaching to the back of the thigh. Inner knee is reaching towards the outer knee. And it's as though you were spreading the floor wide through the pressure of your feet. And now just with your thumbs, I'll show you. You want to find the right side of your spine and the left side of your spine. And you want to start to activate those muscles. So that's going to come through the pressure of your feet. Good. And that's going to come from the sacrum skin, lifting towards the back of the head. So go ahead with your thumbs, feel the muscles of your spine. And if the bone of the spine is protruding, that means we haven't found the muscles yet. So you want to bend the knees, roll the sit bones towards the ceiling, and then slowly straighten the legs. Yeah, and keep that pressure on the outside edge of your feet, heart lifting. And we want to activate the musculature evenly. So can you find the right side of the spine and the left side of the spine? And that's going to happen through the pressure of your feet. Awesome. Keep pressing those outside edges of your feet, heart lifting, and your elbows are reaching back behind you to open the heart even more. Smooth, soft breathing. This is going to reset the knees. So press on the outside edges. Front of the thigh reaching to the back of the thigh. Front of the thigh reaching to the back of the thigh. Sit bones spreading wide. Exhale, come on up. Good work. Okay, so we're going to turn that left foot towards the side of the room. Right foot back. And you're going to find that weight on the outside edge of your back foot. And your front leg is getting an external rotation. So again, we want to imagine that your kneecap is lifting up towards the thigh, up towards the pelvis. And it takes a while to actually find that kneecap lift. So you can gently bend that front leg and then engage the knee upwards towards the thigh. Good. And then you want to engage the muscle to the bone. So contract the muscle to the bone, contract, contract. And then that front leg is getting an internal rotation. So that outer hip is rolling towards your inner groin towards the outer hip, opening the back thigh. And spread wide through your fingertips, pressing in that outside edge of your back foot. So that's just our foundation, our legs. And once we get a really strong foundation with our legs, the core starts to activate. That dantian below the belly button activates. So press, spread those toes wide, press through the mounds of the big toes, and imagine that your arms are getting longer, spreading the fingertips wide, the palms of the hands wide, and look towards that left hand. Collarbone spreading wide so you can get taller, reach through the top center of your head, draw your glutes towards the floor. And when you're ready, exhale and reach with that left arm. And you can slightly bend that front leg if you hyperextend. And drop that hand down, right hand up, and you're twisting, rotating from your belly button up towards the ceiling. And so you're getting this external rotation of your front leg, internal rotation of the back leg, and that's going to coordinate with the spine. So I'll say that again. You've got your weight on your back foot. The back leg is getting an internal rotation, so your outer hip is rolling towards your inner groin rolling towards the back of the thigh. And then your front leg is getting that external rotation, so inner groin rolling towards the outer hip rolling towards the back of the thigh. So see if you can just coordinate those two actions to get into the spine. And then the spine is twisting, the belly button is twisting towards the ceiling. Chest is twisting towards the ceiling. External rotation of your arms. Lengthen through the top of the head and see if you can engage even stronger in those legs, kneecaps lifting. And the strength really comes through the pressure of your feet. Exhale, come on up. Oh, good work. My feet are burning, right? So twist, rotate, press that outside edge of your back foot. Right foot is pointing towards the side. And let's get our foundations again. So the back leg, we want that internal rotation. So back of your thigh is rotating towards the outer hip towards the inner groin. Press on the outside edge of that back foot. Engage the muscle to the bone. Sometimes you have to literally pat your leg to get that communication going, get the communication of your muscles engaging to the bone. And then the front leg The inner groin is rolling towards the outer hip towards the back of the thigh. And you can even turn that front foot out towards the wall behind you. So imagine again that you're spreading the floorboards wide through the pressure of your feet, and that's going to get into the pelvis, the pelvic floor. Inhale the arms wide. Look towards your right fingertips. See if you can get the bend out of the wrist. External rotation of your arms so your shoulders are rolling down and back. Front ribs reaching to the back of the room, opening up that kidney band. And now we're engaging the muscle to the bone in our arms and our legs. And then exhale, reach that right arm, drop that to the shin bone. And we're getting that external rotation of the front leg. Good job, you guys. Internal rotation of the back leg. Get that pressure on the outside edge of the back foot. And then roll and rotate your belly button towards the ceiling, your chest towards the ceiling. Arm can go up if you want. Getting that external rotation of your arms. And if you can look up, do it. Otherwise, look down at the floor. One's a reset for the neck, the full body. We're working the spine, we're working the legs, we're working the hips, we're working the core, we're working the neck, the shoulders. And then you're getting that full body integration. So you're teaching the body to communicate to itself, to the different points, to coordinate the different points. And it creates that synergy in the body. And if you're getting any percolation, any shaking, that's normal, that's okay. Smooth, soft breathing. Couple more breaths here. Engage the muscle to the bone. And exhale, come on up. Good work. And of course, I forgot to mention, you can always do that against the wall for extra balance. Okay, so this next one, just slowly walk those feet together because that was a big dissection in the hips and the pelvis and the spine. This next one, you can use a wall or a chair to hold on to. I'll show it first. You want to get that ankle, that heel all the way up to the pelvis as high as you can. If you need to, you can also be at the ankle. We just never want to be on the knee joint. But especially if you have a chair you're holding on to or holding onto the wall, then you can really get that. And I'm going to turn so that my knee is actually touching the wall. So you can do it in the center of the room. You can do it with your knee touching the wall. You can hold on to the wall. But that standing leg, again, we don't want any hyperextension. So you bend the knee to set the leg. Bend the knee. And then engage the muscle to the bone. Press through that mound of the big toe. Draw your glutes towards your heels. And then that center heart is lifting upwards and forwards at a 60-degree angle towards the ceiling. Shoulders rolling down and back. And just that is working through so much curvature in the spine. Any imbalances in the spine start to get worked out. And that knee is slightly forward. It's actually not straight out. It's slightly forward if you're doing it against the wall. And from here, you can really start to find that stability. So I want you to keep drawing the front of the thigh to the back of the room. And keep rolling, rotating from this outer hip towards the front of the thigh, towards the inner groin. And some of us might feel the feet activating and toning. Front of the knee engaging to the back of the room. Good. And then you're going to release from your inner groin towards your inner ankle. So your inner groin is releasing down towards your inner ankle. And that inner arch of your foot is lifting towards the ceiling. There's so much strength and toning and coordination that's happening through the full body. Chest is centered, heart is square. Try and center your belly button. Glutes chasing to the floor. Shoulders rolling down and back. And then exhale, gently bend to come out and switch to the other side. So again, you can do it in the center of the room or at the wall. This time we're standing on the right leg. I'm going to bring that left heel all the way up to the top of the groin. If your knee is placing on the wall, it places just slightly in front, not directly center. And make sure that your heel is stacked under your knee, stacked under your hip. And draw that right glute down to your right heel. Good, and see if you can just relax that jaw, open the jaw, soften the jaw, even open your mouth wide to reset the jaw. Open the mouth really wide. Good, it's so important to stretch out and open that jaw. Again, open the mouth wide. Good. And then the front of the thigh reaches to the back of the thigh. That sacrum, we were talking about, the sacrum bone reaches towards the front of the room. So thigh reaching back, sacrum reaching forward. And then release from the center spine down towards your center ankle. Heart opening, getting that lift at that 60-degree angle upwards and forward, shoulders rolling down and back. And then broaden, spread wide across the chest. Face soft, jaw soft. Open the jaw one more time. Good. And relax and release from that center brow. Soften the center brow. So there's lots of softening actions, but then there's strengthening actions as well. So we're engaging that muscle to the bone. That right leg, that standing leg is getting longer, stronger. The front of the thigh is reaching to the back of the room. And just see if you can contract from 360 degrees. Squaring that chest, squaring that belly button. And then exhale. Soften, relax. Okay, good work. I know that's a lot of work. Okay, awesome. This next one, if you have, hi Layla. If you have a strap, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have a strap, you can use a scarf, you can use a bungee, you can use a belt. And you want to come laying down to the floor. Okay. So lying flat on your back. You're going to take that left leg straight on the floor. And again, see if you can draw the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. I know there's going to be a gap behind the thigh, behind the knee, but you're trying to close that gap. Again, you're getting an internal rotation of that left leg, so your outer hip is rolling towards your inner groin. And then you're going to take that right leg And put that strap right at the mound of the big toe, drawing that leg upwards. And again, the strap is there so that we can work at any flexibility. I like to wrap the strap around my hands. It gives me a little bit more coordination with it. And then the head goes down, the shoulders go down. You're rolling those shoulders down the back body. Again, the glutes are chasing towards the heels. Imagine that your right foot is walking like it's flat on the ceiling. And your left foot as though as it was flat on the wall. And go ahead and roll from the outside edges of your thighs towards your inner groins. Face soft, throat soft. Front of the thigh reaching to the back of the thigh and really open up the backs of those thighs. So outer hip is rolling across the front of the thigh towards the inner groin. The inner groin is rolling towards the back of the thigh, opening the back of the thigh. And try and get the knees square on. Good. Spread the toes wide. It's easier if the arms are straight, right? And then that left leg that's on the floor, imagine that you have a 50-pound weight, 100-pound weight, right on that center femur and that upper thigh. So that upper thigh is trying to break through the floor. Face is soft, throat is soft, center brow is soft. And reach through the top of the head. And then just see if you can get those legs growing longer, lengthening, extending. Woo, and if you get that percolation as you hit a new point, that inner shaking, that's good. We're just working through the nervous system. Keep growing the right leg longer and the left leg longer. And your center navel is dropping towards your spine, towards the floor. And then your center heart, your center sternum is reaching up towards your chin. And you are getting an external rotation of those arms. External rotation of the arms, muscles engaged to the bone. Lengthening the arms, lengthening the legs. See if you can get even more length in those arms. Open the backs of the thighs. And then coordinate it from the mound of your big toe, of your left toe, all the way to the top center of your head. Find that length and strength throughout the whole body, that whole coordination. And again, open the mouth wide to release the jaw. As wide as you can. Good. Exhale, bend that right leg. Bring it down to meet the left leg. Find that center line. So you have your mounds of your big toes, your center ankles, your center pubic or pelvis bone, center belly button, center heart, center throat, center forehead. Get in that line. And then draw the left leg up. Get that external rotation of the arms. And it might feel very different from side to side. So again, relax those shoulders, relax the head. And you're trying to open wide across the backs of those thighs. Getting that external rotation of your arms. And then your center navel is reaching towards the center of the spine. And see, imagine that your legs are growing longer, the right leg's getting longer, your left leg's getting longer, muscle engaging to the bone. And now those arms are getting longer, lengthening, growing. And again, open the jaw as wide as you can. Reset the jaw, close, open again. Reset. One more time, as wide as you can, open the jaw. And reset. And again, lengthen through the top of the head. Remember how we were nourishing the lower back, the kidney band? Try and draw that kidney band towards the floor. Draw the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh and imagine that you have that 50, 100-pound weight on your center femur, on that right femur, and it's drawing closer and closer and closer to the floor. You wouldn't believe the amount of length you can get out of your legs. So again, keep pretending that you have that 50, 100-pound weight on that right femur. Your front of your thighs are reaching to the back of your thighs. And through that, the legs are growing. They're getting longer. They're getting more spaciousness in the joints. And through that, the spine is going to get longer and stronger. So really just focus on those legs intently. Front of the thigh reaching to the back of the thigh. Front of that femur reaching to the back of the femur. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good. And then exhale, take that left leg down to reach to the right. The legs do get longer in this. The spine does open up more. And again, align those center big toes with your center ankle, with your center pubic bone, all the way up. And then bend those knees. Wrap the strap around at the mounds of the big toes of both feet. Again, I like to wrap the strap around my hands. And if you can work towards straightening those legs, they don't have to be perfectly straight. They can be as bent as you need, but work towards straightening those legs. Again, the shoulders and the neck will go back to the floor. And here we want to try, there's a lot actually to coordinate here. See if you can press through the mounds of your big toes. See if you can align your center ankle with your center knee. And again, broaden wide across the feet. So the feet are getting wider. The outside edges of your knees are rolling towards the wall. The inner groin is releasing towards the wall, towards the back of the thigh. And then that center femur, the front of the center femur is aligning with the back center femur. And the front knee is engaging to the back of the knee. Front of the knee engaging to the back of the knee. And it's actually a lot of work to get that front femur reaching to the back of the thigh. Feet are level as though you're walking on the ceiling, but put 110% into getting the front of the femur reaching to the back of the femur. Align those ankles and those knees over your center pelvis. Align your center pelvis with your center belly button. center belly button with your center sternum, center rib cage, with the center throat and the center top of your head. And that navel does relax towards the spine, getting that external rotation of the arms. And again, we're focusing 110% on bringing the center of your femur, your front femur, to the back femur. And that front of the knees are reaching to the back of the knees. It's a real full toning and engagement of your feet, of your legs, of those femurs. Reach your center heels up towards the ceiling. Center navel towards the spine. And see if you can get balanced on the right side of your sacrum and the left side of your sacrum through your feet. So angle your feet slightly to the right to get your weight on the right side of the pelvis. Angle your feet slightly to the left to get your weight on the left sacrum. Find where true center is from the standpoint of your sacrum, even if that means your feet are a little bit more to the right or to the left. Get balanced on the sacrum. And again, engage the muscle to the bone, front of the knee, reaching to the back of the knee. Good. And then exhale, gently come out. Roll on over. Good. And you're going to come. I'm not going to stay here long. You can have your butt in the air. But we are going to come and put the center forehead on the floor. So knees wide. Release into that child's pose. Staying here for a moment. Good. Lengthen those arms. And again, open that jaw as wide as you can. Good. Resetting the jaw, close, and do that 2 more times. Good. And just allow the body to soften here, relax here, melt here like a stick of butter, melting in the sun. And we want to see if we can balance the brain by getting equal weight on that center forehead. It's really interesting. But just like we were getting the weight on the sacrum, get a little bit more weight on the right side of the forehead. A little bit more weight on the left side of the forehead. And then again, find that true center brow, getting pressure on the floor, even if your head is slightly tilted more to the right or the left. And if we can get that center brow, center of the forehead truly on the floor, the brain will start to readjust. Everything else will start to readjust. And if you can, just melt into that pelvis even more. And then slowly make your way to seated. Slowly make your way to seated. Go ahead. Okay, we have 5 more minutes till the top of the hour. Come to any comfortable seated position on the floor, on your pillow. Lifting that heart upwards and forwards. Palms can be facing down. Close your eyes and draw your chin towards your chest. And just notice any subtle differences in your body, in your heart, in your spirit. Roll those shoulders down and back. And think of one thing you are grateful for today in this moment. Someone, something. And think of one gem that you learned today that you want to take with you into your day. Something that you can work on throughout the day, applying it, whether you're walking or sitting. And bring those palms together. And actually use your thumbs, bring them to the lower sternum and reach them up towards the top sternum, elbows coming down towards the floor. It just helps us to lift that sternum. Elbows are weighted. Pretend like you have 10 or 5 pound little weights in your elbows. Reach the elbows to the floor. Thank you so much for practicing today. Thanks so much for joining me in this new space here. So grateful to practice together. So grateful to grow community together. It's a really important and grounding space in my life. And again, breathe in behind the heart. See if you can open behind the heart, behind those 2 shoulder blades. And then palms facing up. Open the eyes. See if you can keep that back of the neck long and reach out the top center head. Right, if we can find our center, it is contagious. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here and joining me. And if anybody wants to share and come off mute, any just one takeaway, any insight, anything that's on your heart, feel free. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Hi, little one. Oh, hi, sweetheart. So
Where's your little, not so little?
she's coming. We are just finishing up this last couple minutes of class. Oh, we love it. Yay, we do have those hopping on. But yeah, I'd love to hear in the last couple minutes any takeaways.
I'm just really enjoying the full body workout. I just find that each week you open up a new space in my body, and I'm just so amazed at it. So I'm really enjoying the full body workout. So thank you again for that. I just really adore how you can just guide us through each part of our body. It's so amazing to me. How long have you been practicing this again?
I actually grew up with it, so my whole life.
Okay, it shows because it amazes me how you can talk us through each part of our body. It's so amazing to me. So thank you again, Coach Rita.
Yeah, thanks, TC, for being here. I love it. I love practicing together. Miss
Yeah, and speaking of you guiding us through it, I really found out the importance of listening to your methodical directions because my husband needed me to help him find something, and I'm like, oh, I can still do the practice and do it. And I had him on a Facebook or whatever it's called, a video, so I could try to see and show him where it was, but I wasn't hearing what you were saying, and it made a big difference in my practice today. It's just I did not go as deep as I typically do because I wasn't totally here. And that happened a few times throughout. I was like,
I love it.
what I came for. But still, in all of that, I still got a lot of it. And I appreciate you as always. I still feel that, my cells were percolating and I was feeling the adherence to my bones. So it still worked, but I could have gotten a little bit more had I been more present. So I'm just realizing just how important your instruction is and how
Mm.
much I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And that's a great takeaway. Absolutely. Because, right, that presence, that focus, this is really like an inward practice bringing you back to yourself. So,
And Karen
Mhm.
Yana, because I have done that in previous sessions, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So I do try to be more present because I have had sessions where I wasn't as focused and present, and then I would get lost. I'm like, what did she say? And so it does make a difference if you're not paying attention to what she's saying.
Yes.
love it.
Coach Rita, I just want to echo what TC and Karen said. It's very clear that, like you saying it from birth, that you've had this exposure with your mom and everything. It's very clear this is your ministry, this is your gift, this is your purpose. So I'm really excited for you that you're in alignment with that, with the decisions that you're making, because, one of the things, my word that came to mind when you asked us to think of a word was to surrender. And so when you surrender for the purpose that God brought you here for, it makes things more effortless. I find I'm learning that. And so I echo like what TC said and what Karen said, your instructions. You have all the gifts and talents ministry so effectively. And I just wanted to add that, when we're doing the stretching and the balancing, before I had a lot of difficulty with that because I'm very tensed. I took the chill spray this morning and whoa, I was like more relaxed and calm so I could do the exercises without that tension. And I and there
Awesome.
was more focus, focusing on what you're saying, focusing on what to do next. I didn't expect it to be that much of a difference. I really didn't. I'm in awe.
I love it, Drea. That is so beautiful. And yeah, that chill spray is part of our Nourish program, you guys. And whew, yeah, it's just balancing the brain, the nervous system, which immediately impacts our musculoskeletal system as well. And like you said, that presence, that focus, that's so cool. I love
Yeah.
it, you guys. Well, we've got some people hopping on for this next call. So I'm going to close out this space. Thank you so much for being here and showing up for yourselves and each other. And next is a team call. So I'm going to open up the space for that. Love you guys.
Okay. Love you more.
Love you
Love
all.
Bye.
Have
to
a great
speak more
weekend.
love. Bye
See
bye.
you.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Morning.
Man.